up, Doug?
Doug.
You know me, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and you are too.
But where are you doing it? Are you there in Carolina right now?
I am in Carolina. Actually, I'm at Myrtle Beach, and I'm not up in Spartanburg, but I was a couple of days ago. I go back and forth. I love my beach, so it's just something that you can come down to. If you ever come down here, I'll buy you a drink.
Done. Sold. I'm on my way because we're here in Little Rock, Arkansas, and it is.
Flooding like crazy.
Flash flood warnings, everything.
Oh, no. Well, I don't make nobody feel bad, so I'll shut up.
We're just going to bring a big crowd with us. So we're going to bring a couple thousand people, and we just knock out a concert while we're down there.
Well, don't you worry. Whenever you come, I'll be able to handle it.
Well, you do like what, about 100 and some a year?
About 111, I think, is what it's going to be this year. We went for 114 last year and had short up 2 of them because they were we just couldn't physically make the distance between the 2 shows. But this year we're going to go for 111, stick with it, and hey, as long as we can do it, and you never know whose show we're going to be on or with, and if it's our show or whatever, it's unbelievable that I've been blessed to be able to put this thing together and hold it together. If I think back to the old days, it's just unbelievable that these guys that's been with me the last 25 years, so respectful towards the original songs that we had, the original people that wrote them, and I mean, that's why people still come to see our shows.
Are you still as excited as you used to be? When you first got started?
Well, you hear me now, and my girlfriend says, slow down, and no, I'm just kidding.
We're not talking about your personal life there.
My doctor says I can go as long as I want to. As long as I'm enjoying myself, and just keeping on. And matter of fact, I just got another bus, and that means we got, I think, 3 or 4 now. We're going down the road. Can't stand ourselves very much, but when we see each other, we see each other in the bus, but that's usually when everybody's sleeping in their bunk. And then the next morning you wake up, you don't want to look at nobody in the face because it's kind of scary.
What are you doing in my bunk?
And eyes go the other way. Kind of like a cartoon character. I love it.
Now, you got a new bus. So is that the way you always traveled? Y'all don't ever just hop on a charter jet and zip around the nation at all?
You know what? We've done that a bunch of times. And, it's, first of all, it's too expensive. Second of all, I do fly an awful lot. The rest of the guys fly a lot because we have to go back and forth to California.
Wow.
And we might play one in New York one night and the next night's in California. So, I really praise these guys for putting up with that kind of stuff. We getting a new bus is just like another rite of passage. I wait 10 years and then I buy another one and keep this one around. And the trucks, them boys keep that stuff. It's kind of like a real business. And I never knew a long time ago anything besides singing and looking at pretty girls and drinking beer, and not necessarily in that order.
That's why you keep the bus around, didn't it?
It's a beautiful thing to be able to still do all 3 of those things, and now those guys deserve to ride on a new bus, and so do I.
Now when you guys started, we always ask people this. What was the main reason for you to start wanting to get up on stage? Was it the fans, the money, or just to get girls?
Yeah, we didn't know nothing about money then. It was hard enough for us to count, even though all of us graduated from high school. But some of us went to college. But I think that the real reason is because I got to see Bill Haley in the Comets and the Sparkle Tones in the 50s.
Oh, wow.
And those were people, and Sparkle Tones are from Spartanburg, South Carolina. So when they went on Ed Sullivan's show years ago, that was like the biggest thing in the world to Spartanburg, South Carolina, which we're extremely proud of. I still have a home up there, and go back and forth a lot because I have 2 daughters, and both of them out of college, and one's got my grandkids, and so that's you just didn't know about money. Just all you wanted to do is, as a group, me and Toy, when we came back from Vietnam, we didn't want to do anything, but we knew we had to work, keep money coming in. Then we started rehearsing on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and then all of a sudden it went to Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then we got invited to be an opening act for Wet Willie and also the Allman Brothers. And we went, well, we'll have to work twice as hard this week. But we did not have Marshall Tucker as a name then. We didn't have a name for the band. Toy didn't want to go back to using that old name we used before in the military because it was Toy Factory. I didn't want to go back to calling himself the New Generation because that would have been kind of flimsy. So, you know, I mean, New Generation was fine, the 50s and 60s, but, you know, when you got so many new generations coming up now, I guess, like I say, the millennials. But yet they're the ones coming to see our show, and you know, the young kids are involved as much with us as the older guys. First of all, I have a 27 and a 37-year-old daughter, and that brings in.
Oh, wow.
They tell me stuff that I don't even realize, and then you know, I'm not afraid to watch old American Idol and The Voice because I learn a lot from those little 15, 16, 18-year-old kids that get on there.
Now, is your daughter in the
same drive make me want to be where I'm at right now and make me appreciate them? And I've had many of those stars on stage with me.
Cool.
Those guys love it. They never forget about it. And you know, I've called a lot of them up. Publicity people give me their numbers when they're on the show, and I give them a little bit ounce of encouragement if I can. And
you do not. You crush their dreams.
You're not gonna make it.
You're horrible. Now give me your songs. Now, is your daughter in the industry as well? Anybody else in your family, you know, doing the entertainment route?
Well, my aunts did. They played at the church, and they played keyboards at the church. And then I realized I learned keyboard for a couple of years. Then I decided now that was when pianos were really big. Okay, so then I didn't want to have to fool with that every time we went to do a show. So I got out of that, and I found out that there's millions of people out there that can play a piano a lot better than me. Okay, so those people were kind of put in the band, and you know what? When you've been around 48 years, you've seen a lot of good people come and go. I've watched Toy and Tommy and all take George Pate, take the Passion Road, and they're in heaven now. So, I've watched all that stuff happen. But to have the band that I have now which is 25 years, we're a whole group of people. We're not one person.
That's awesome.
And I depend on them, and they depend on me, and that's the way our road will keep on going forever, as long as I'm around. They'll have to forget the farewell tour. They're going to roll me out on the current. Okay? But I'll just wave goodbyes or rolling me out saying that's it.
Of all your concerts you've done, what one stands out the most?
Gosh, that's really hard to say. I think I took my mom and dad to Madison Square Garden in Manhattan one time, and that was early on. And then we got to play the inauguration on one of them, and I took them, and those are kind of things that you remember because both my mom and dad are gone now. So those memories still come to pass ever so often, and I believe that there's no one show that's better than another. I think some of them just we have a better communication with the audience, and when we do that, and I listen to the audience, and they give us some good vibes, then I know we've had a good night. So it's hard for me to be anything other than what I just said.
That's until May 25th, of course, when you come down here to Magic Springs in Hot Springs, Arkansas. I mean, that by far will surpass Madison Square Garden. Come on. Now, have you actually...
I was going to say that because I've been there before, but then I didn't want to sound too like I was jerking y'all. I'm going to be there with Kentucky Headhunters, too. But no, if I said that, that'd be somebody who just pulled his leg. I don't like to do that.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. Kentucky Headhunters, I want to say again, have been out on tour with us, a whole bunch of opening shows. things like that. And it's hard when you get so many rednecks in one place. Like I got people over to me, and
Then you call it
I
NASCAR.
got 5 or 10, and you know, you look around and it ain't nothing but old long-haired rednecks that can play music together.
But it's just amazing that your music has stand the test of time. I mean, it's just as good now as when you listened to it years ago.
Well, thank you. It's because of a couple of bold reasons that I put into each other. One is Kevin Costner and Johnny Depp and people like that wanted to put our stuff into their movies, and when they put our stuff into the movies, that gives people an opportunity to know that, you know, they start looking it up, and, you know, now that we have the internet beating us up so bad, we have all of that stuff, and plus our stuff is on there, and then they realize, well, that's a band that's been around for years. They don't know what that song was, but they look it up and they realize that Troy Caldwell wrote it and sang it the first time. See, that ain't my song, honestly, that Can't You See song. That I told Toy whenever he handed it to me, he said, man, sing this song for me, because he always did all the rest of them. He said, man, I can't sing this song. You're going to have to sing this song, but this is you 100%. Now that he's gone, it's an audience and an everybody song, so I insist that everybody sing the song.
That's actually cool.
The crowds always get a big kick out of it, and not only do they get a big kick out of it, they express themselves, because that's what that song's all about.
Now, obviously, you know, you have what I think a lot of people call the Southern rock, you know, kind of genre. Yep. Did you ever think of going down a different road, kind of like gangster rap or something of that sort?
I'd have been ashamed to be a gangster rap, but I don't think that there was any other way to go than being natural. Okay. The other bands, you know, and I know what you're saying, that, you know, we didn't go the hard rock and roll way. We didn't go the Skinner way. And they were opening shows for us in the beginning. Then all of a sudden, one day it switched, and me and Ronnie Van Zant looked at each other, and he said, man, that's my song on the radio. I said, yep, finally made it, man, and that was it. And then the next thing we did, they was headlining everywhere. That was good. Then we flip-flopped, and then we started opening for them. And, you know, this thing that's out there, these groups that's out there now, they're all well dedicated to the fact that Ronnie started something that's bigger than all of us. And now, the Southern thing, I was there when a guy said, what are we going to use as a motto for the guys, Southern bands from the South, knowing that we were Phil Walden, Macon, Georgia, and stuff like that. So a guy named Dick Woolley, I think it was his name, was in the basement of the Capricorn Records. He said, man, I got to come up with a logo. I said, you know, he said something sort of Southern music. And I said, why don't you make a load of bumper stickers up and give them away to everybody and call it Support Southern Music. And that thing grew so fast you wouldn't believe it. People started having them on their trucks and their cars and their refrigerators and their factory T-shirts and stuff like that. No, I'm proud to be a redneck Southerner and drinking moonshine when I can. And
that explains a lot, right there.
Yeah, it does, and that's why I'm consistent with my thoughts.
Now, obviously, everyone knows the music, you know, that you've done in the past. Is there anything new that you're working on right now? Anything in the movies or anything of that sort?
Believe it or not, there's a whole lot of songs that are coming out because, you know, the Netflix and Amazons and all this stuff that's coming on TV and smart TVs and stuff. There's a lot of people they're making a lot of movies and they're using a lot of our songs, and
cool.
And that's a compliment that they feel that our music, be it as some of it as old as it is, they feel that it fits in some of those movies and explains the movie a little bit better.
That's awesome.
It's like an underlying thing for people to know that our lyrics can fit with anybody. And like In My Own Way, I Love You is one of the old country songs we did. And, you know, not one person has ever said they didn't like that song, In My Own Way, I Love You. Because everybody would like to be able to be able to say that to somebody they love. But not many people could write it the way George Alwell.
I'm tearing up a little bit right now just listening to you. That's beautiful.
Well, put it in a jar and sell it.
I know you hate answering this question, but even talking to our friends and our viewers and listeners, tell them that we're having you on today to talk to you. The question always comes up, is Marshall actually going to be the one that's talking to you? Marshall Tucker Band, just real quick, if you don't mind, a summation. Where did the name of this band come from, and why did you decide to stick with that?
Well, the real story, okay, is that we needed a place to rehearse in. We needed a guy to run a pawn shop. We asked him if he had a little room somewhere we could use, and he had let a guy named Marshall Tucker use that room. Marshall Tucker was a blind piano tuner, and he's married, and he's still alive.
Wow.
I spoke with him about a month ago. He wasn't feeling too well, but he's quite a bit older now, over 90-some years old. Spoke with him, and he's doing a lot better now, and he's very proud of us using his name, because he didn't care about it. He used to do all the magazines and stuff like that. When they'd call him up and stuff, and talk about how proud he was
Right.
of us using the name, and all of a sudden how we found it. Well, the promoter came down there and said, well, I need it. Y'all sound real good. He came down to the rehearsal hall and said, y'all sound real good. What's going to be the new name for the band? Well, on the keychain, there was a handwritten name on there, and it said Marshall Tucker. Well, we're just drinking, having a good time. Not that I, want people to drink all the time, but that's what we were doing. And we were just kind of figuring out what to name the band. We'd already been rehearsing almost a year, and nobody really had thought about it being ready to go yet. Because we all had day jobs. I actually worked in the bank, and Coy was master plumber with his dad, and so we were doing regular jobs, but we flipping that little thing, that little key around, and then all of a sudden somebody said, well, hell, we ain't got an answer for you. But I tell you what, for the weekend, let's just call it the Marshall Tucker Band.
That's pretty cool.
That was the name that was on the keychain, and since then, that's been 40 years. He actually retired from down in Columbia, South Carolina, and we sent him a platinum record and stuff like that.
Wow.
Stuff that goes with us, and he appreciated it, and he's a great guy.
You should, since you stole his key and he lost his job and couldn't get back into the building. And
You know what? He didn't ever think about that, and I sure as heck didn't ever think about it. And all we had was the key, and he always just told me whenever a TV channel came in, in New York one time, they got us both together in Spartanburg, and he said, well, let me know when they get all the mics off. And this was 20 years into the band. He said, let me know when all the mics are offline. I said, yes, sir, they'll be off in just a minute. And they come back over and said, they all off now? And I said, yes, sir. And he went, I just want to tell you that I'm glad you didn't ruin my name.
And there's been people waiting 40 years to get in that building, but that's all right.
We just never got caught.
Well, the Grammys are coming up. Does award shows like that you care about those shows at all?
Actually, I think everybody should care about them that's in our business. As far as, being in the Hall of Fame, I don't really care about that because I don't have the original guys with me. I could care less about that. But, and I think it's too political for us to even think about, right, if you want to know the truth. But that's the truth. That's my feelings. But then, the rest of these shows, and I'm playing I'm not supposed to tell you, but, I'm going to tell you anyway. We're playing CMAs. Okay, and then we're doing the Grand Ole Opry before the end of the year.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
So you got it. Just don't spread the word.
All right. Well, hey, we appreciate you taking the time, man. It's been fantastic. We're looking forward for you to coming down here, May 25th?
Yep. We're going to come out and visit with you a little bit, I think, after the concert.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
And I've got one of your albums here that I've had. This is the big LP, and this is back when I was in high school. And I still have it.
That's been quite a long time.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you said you had 20 and 30-year-old kids. I've got a 40-year-old kid.
Oh my goodness.
You didn't have to say it that way.
Yeah, he's pushing.
I
You
was-
talked about that
my
gurney.
mom
He's
told me
pushing it.
to be very, very careful no matter what I do.
Well, man, hey, you enjoy the beach out there. Like I said, we've got rain here, so enjoy that sunshine. And we look forward to seeing you here in a couple of weeks. And boy, if there's anything that we can do to get the word out there, just give us a shout, and we'll be glad to promote you as much as we can.
Well, thank you very much, and I look forward to meeting y'all. And just come on in early. We'll sit around and talk a little bit.
All right.
That'll work.
We'll bring the moonshine.
You don't have to worry about it. I got it on the bus.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks so much for the time, and we'll see you soon.
Take care, Doug.
Okay. All right, man. Y'all be good.
All right, bye-bye. Wow, was that great or what?
There you go, Doug, from the Marshall Tucker Band. I mean, he stole a poor blind man's key.
Marshall, see this album? I've had this since I was in high school. And so we'll go out there and maybe he'll sign it.
That tells you a lot right there.
Yeah, no, I mean,
You're an old bastard.
I think it was made by Rock.
So, but
Marshall
we're
Tucker Band, May 25th, Magic
Magic
Springs.
Springs.
Be there.
or be squared. We'll talk to y'all soon. So we're out of here. Bye-bye.
And www.arkansasshowcaseradio.org is where this is going to be posted. So stay tuned, share it, and we'll see you out there on May 25th. Bye-bye.